Hi, I'm Andi. Welcome or welcome back. I'm really happy that you're here. Today I'm bringing you two updates for July. The first is going to be my fun-sized pan mat palette. This is a Pantastic Ladies collab and it was created by Jackie Lutens. I will have a link to the Pantastic Ladies Facebook group in the description box below. This year I am attempting to pan the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk quad. This is what it looks like. It's a very neutral, very pretty little quad. I'm going to put in some video because I feel like you can really see those dips in the video as opposed to me just holding it up. There are some huge dips. I really thought I was going to hit pan this month because especially toward the top of the pans, they are very deep. Of course, we are expanding this pan as we go along, and I have not yet hit pan in this one either. But I'm going to put up a picture of what it looked like last month and what it looks like now. Then we're going to see how many times I actually used it this month. Shade 1 was used 4 times. Shade 2 was used 6 times. Shade 3 was used 4 times. And shade 4 was used 5 times. Now this is what it looked like when I first brought it in, virtually untouched. And this is what it looks like now. I'm going to tell you the total uses for each shade. Shade number 1 has been used 39 times. Shade number 2 has been used 53 times. Shade number 3 has been used 38 times. And shade number 4 has been used 46 times. So the mattes have definitely been used more than the shimmers. I'm not going to really repeat myself too much because I say this every video, but the shimmers aren't great. They're not amazing. But the mattes are really nice, and that is a great transition shade and a great crease shade for a neutral to warm look. I do have them on today. Not the shimmers, just the mattes as a transition and a crease shade. So what I'm really hoping for this month, again, is to hit pan. I want to hit pan in these two shades. I mean, clear up, like up toward the top. I use a very fluffy brush when I do this. And so up toward the top it's so deep. It's so deep. Just continue to expand the pan in this shade here, and then hopefully hit pan in this shade. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I didn't use this shade very much. Well, I didn't use the palette very much this past month because I didn't wear a lot of makeup. I wasn't wearing makeup every day to work like I usually do because I'm not working. So I've been lazy. I've been cleaning my house and all of that and sweaty, and I'm just not going to put on makeup if I am just going to sweat it off. So, and I really haven't left the house much. So not a whole lot of makeup days, but more than 10. I've worn makeup more than 10 times, but I didn't use this every single time I did makeup. Last month I had way more progress than I do this month. So now we're going to update my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. This is where I bring in 5 various shades randomly and then try to use them 10 times. Once I use them 10 times, I will roll them out. I do have all the rules in the description box below of how I do this project. It's basically 2 palettes, 2 singles, and a Supershock. So I'm going to talk about the things that have been in here the longest. Back in May, my Supershock that I rolled in was the shade Obvi. It is a really pretty green shade, but you guys, I've only used it once. I'm not even going to put up my graphic or my B-roll footage because there's really no difference. I just used it once. This is what it looks like. It's a very pretty. I just don't gravitate toward these shades, which is why I'm doing this. But it's going to take me a little longer to use the shades I'm not as comfortable with. That's just a given. Next up, also in May, the shade Currents was brought in. This is from the Colourpop High Tide palette. I did depot everything. So these are now singles in my collection rather than a palette. But I did use this 2 additional times this past month for a total of 4 uses. So that, I'm getting there. I'm not quite halfway there, but I'm getting there. I did use it underneath my eyes. One of the times, I was just trying to get some use out of it, you guys. Just trying to use it. I did do a green look this past month, and I used some shades from my Melt Amor y Mariposa palette, and I immediately took it off because I thought it was hideous. We're not friends. Green and I are not friends. But, so I have 6 more uses to go on that. So last month we rolled in 3 new shades, 2 palettes, 1 single. The first one is Sydney Grace's You Have Me. This is what it looks like. I did use this 5 times since the last update, so I am halfway there. I am using it in the outer corner. Today I have it on in my outer corner to get the 5th use, but it's a it's between an orange and a red. It's like kind of a burnt orange, orangey brownish red, like a brick color. It's like a brick color. Okay, and then the 2 palettes that I rolled in, the first one was the Melt She's in Parties, and the shade that was randomly chosen is the shade Mean Streak right here. I did use this 10 times this month. I did. This shade is so pigmented that I just barely had to touch the shadow. And I use it as an outer corner. Every look that I did with it, I use it as an outer corner, just the very outer corner, and maybe a little bit underneath, but it was just a touch. It's so flippin' pigmented. Like, look how pigmented that is. But I did enjoy using it, and that is rolling out. And then the last shade that was in here was also from a palette. It is from the Laura Geller Nothing But Neutral palette. And I love this palette. It is such a beautiful, cool neutral. It is not available anymore, I don't believe. But the shade Cliff right here was the shade that was brought in. I did use this 10 times since the last update, so this is also rolling out. I also got my last use today, and that is what's on my lid. It's such a pretty shade. This is Laura Geller's Baked Formula, and it is my favorite formula of hers. Okay, this is what our color story, that is what that looks like. So this is what our color story looked like this past month. So both palettes are rolling out. So we're going to roll 2 palettes in. That's exciting. About halfway since the last update, I was really afraid I wasn't going to have any rollouts because, as I said, it wasn't a big makeup month for me. It's hot. It's July, the cleaning, the taking care of my house and stuff like that. So we're going to bring up the Wheel of Names. Turn down my notification volume. Okay, I brought up my Wheel of Names. I have my palette wheel up. So let's draw our first one. Ooh, the Il Maquillage Game Changer. That is a quad, and it is beautiful. I have not yet worn that. So we're going to close that. We're going to roll again. BH Passion in Paris. Now, I just had that in here, and I'm going to redraw. I don't remove them from the wheel because palettes have so many shades in them, but I'm also not going to use that palette again so soon. Spoiled Lips, the Little Fox palette. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go grab those palettes. We'll come back. We'll do our random number generator and see which shades we are using. Okay, we are back. Let me wipe off the fingerprints. The first palette that I drew was the Il Maquillage, and this is the color Ball Squad. And this was given to me from Charlie at Sea Nut Butter Beauty. This is what it looks like. It is a gorge. I have not yet used it. So there are 4 shades. So let's randomize 1 through 4. Shade number 3. And that is going to be 1, 2, 3. That's going to be this shade right here. And that shade is called Endgame, I think. I think that's how they do it. I think it's like right behind it. So I think it's called Endgame. And I will do swatches. I will do swatches once all of these are chosen. So the next palette is the volume 15, which is, I call it the Little Fox palette. I don't know if that's what it's called. This was given to me from Ash from Makeup and Chaos. It is a really great summer palette. So there are 16 shades in here. So let's go back to our random number picker. Shade number 6. That is very similar to this shade, so we're going to redraw. Okay. Shade number 8. Shade number 8 is this orange right here. I'll allow it. It's all right. So let me swatch that. This is our new color story. This is our old color story. This is our new color story. I think that looks like a really nice summery color story. We have 1 shimmer, which is our Super Shock, matte, matte, satin, and matte. So I like that there's so many mattes in here because they're more versatile than the shimmers or satins or whatever. So I'm okay with that. I'm all right with it. We'll see if we can get those singles rolled out before the next update. And so maybe we'll have a complete refresh because I think these are going to be very easy to use. It's just these 2 guys that I have issues with. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here. And until next time, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later.